Shout out to the real. Shout out to the fake. Shout out to that nosy chick. She better stay in her place. Get in line. Punk. I'm here with my boy, partner, co-host, Chad the Saga, Odyssey Jones, professional wrestler. We're about to get crazy. Let's
Yes, sir. It's your boy.
talk
Odyssey
about
2D, No Jones, aka the Triple C Corum City Crusher, aka the Mall on a Mission, aka Big Ow. Tearing this shit up, boy. You know what it is. You know what time it is.
Yeah, I love that
Intro.
shit.
With that intro. Gonna be turned the fuck up. What you talking about?
That's right. Man, Chad, where's yours at?
Where's my what?
Where's your intro?
My intro? Motherfucking Saga in the goddamn best motherfucking. How's that?
Yeah. Shout out to the real Odyssey Jones. What's up? What's going on right now, man? Where you wrestling at? I seen you on. Shout out to the real. Shout out to the fake. Shout out to that nosy chick. She better stay in her place. Get in line. Punk. I'm here with my boy, partner, co-host, Chad the Saga, Odyssey Jones, professional wrestler. We're about to get crazy.
Yes, sir. It's your boy. Odyssey 2D, No Jones, aka the Triple C Corum City Crusher, aka the Mall on a Mission, aka Big Ow. Tearing this shit up, boy. You know what it is. You know what time it is.
Yeah, I love that
intro. With that intro.
Be turned the fuck up. What you talking about?
That's right.
Man, Chad, where's yours at?
Where's my what?
Where's your intro?
My intro? Motherfucking Saga in the goddamn best motherfucking. How's that?
Yeah. Shout out to the real Odyssey Jones. What's up? What's going on right now, man? Where you wrestling at? I seen you going somewhere in North Carolina, I believe.
What up? Yeah. So right now I'm up in the independent scene after leaving the WWE. I just won Friday night #1 contendership. Shout out to Atomic Legacy Wrestling out in Cocoa Beach, Florida. That leads to my first ever championship match coming up soon, July 29th in the Daytona. I think it's the Daytona Ocean City Center. So that's gonna be a good one coming up July 29th. Your boy about to get some gold up on his waist. And then I got coming up soon, June 28th. I go to Cleveland for American Lucha Core Wrestling. So that's gonna be a fun one. And then the following day, June 29th, I go to AML Wrestling out in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So your boy's back on world travel mode, starting to get tapped in and starting to get the ball rolling, which is nice because I'll keep it a buck. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I was about to just hang it up. After everything happened, and everybody knows what happened, or most people know. I was gonna be like, man, the wrestling world don't love me, but I love wrestling. That's cool. I'll go move on and do my other shit. I'm an educated man. I got my degrees. I got my certifications. I'm not stupid. God has blessed me.
Shout out to Q's.
You know it. Orange all day. Shout out to them. But God blessed me with so much resources, so much talent, so much intelligence, and so much more than I even said. So I got options. I got to see what happens, see where the good Lord puts me. But we'll see. Things starting to get moving a little bit and having a little bit of fun and getting back in ring. So only time will tell what happens.
So the independent circuit, I see a lot of people. I mean, wrestling, has a tremendous fan base all over. You see people doing it in the streets. You see people doing it in the stores. You see people, making memes and videos, DDTing their girlfriends. And that's something that I need to do. I never did that. I can't wait to Stone Cold stun something on camera. Boom. Yeah. Shout out to the real. So with the independent market, how does that work? Because if you got work somewhere else, are you allowed to work with another company at the same time?
Yeah, I'm doing whatever I want. It's all me. I do, obviously I got a couple people behind me to help me out with my bookings and to talk to people and kind of more word of mouth. But basically I'm the whole machine myself. I gotta promote myself. I gotta keep myself in shape, which, I know how to do. I learned that through football and my time with the E. I gotta basically get myself there, negotiate rates, and handle my bookings, basically, who I'm going against, how I win and lose, which is cool because like I said before, I was blessed to be able to see more of the inner workings and things behind the scene prior to being released. So I'm still figuring it out, but I do feel comfortable being able to do a little bit more than just working and and when I say working in terms of just being in the ring and being told what to do, where to go, and how to lose, how to win. So I get to do a little bit more, which is interesting, and also I got to be a bit more myself. You know what I mean? Because I don't have that stigma on top of me for being tied to the E. So it's going to be interesting to see how the world see a bit more of me. I don't really let people see me too much. Chad stepped out with me, and we've been out and had some fun. No Diddy, but he got up out of here. You see that? Yeah, he got up out of here.
So when you think about wrestling and when your time there, who were some of the guys that you leaned on when you was coming up in WWE, and how did you get to the WWE?
Cool. So I'll start with how I got there. I always wanted to go to the WWE. I always felt that God blessed me with everything needed, the talent, the mindset, the body, all of it. I felt like even before I knew what I was doing, I felt like I could be the total package and really make waves in the business. And I think with my short time that I proved to myself and really to the world that I can and that I am, a real deal, a player. I was working at one time when I first got out of college. I was working overnight security, and I was doing overnight security. So I was working like 8 to 6, 8 to 5, and after that, I would go straight to the gym, do cardio for like an hour, hour and a half, and then I would go home, eat, sleep, wake up, get a workout, and then go back to work. I was doing that for about 2 to 3 months ish. And then I met somebody, Joe Saladino. Shout out to Joe if he sees this. And he got me in front of Mark Henry, which is the perfect person for me to see because, um, Mark Henry-esque. I tell people I look better, I'm a bit more charming. And you could tell Mark I said this. I told him I look better. You know what I'm saying? I got a better smile. I'm a bit more charming, not as strong as him, but that's neither here nor there. But I got in with him, and then he tapped me in with WWE, had the tryout, and the rest is history.
Shout out to the real. So, Odyssey, did you ever wrestle Mark Henry?
Nah, Mark. By the time I got into business, Mark Henry was he was out of the worker part. So that would be an interesting matchup. Probably boring, but it would be an interesting matchup. Just meaty men smacking meat. Neither of us is high flyers. Ain't no one going off the top rope. I mean, I might maybe if I feel good that day, but ain't nothing too crazy gonna be happening between us.
Yeah, being that thing's independent. What about the promotional side? Putting on your own events, putting on your
so I thought about the promotional. To be honest, it's a lot of money. As I go through the indies and operate with people, I'm starting to kind of understand that side of the business. People are using a month or so to pool up their money with sponsorships, investors, or a lot of them go out of pocket. They take their day job work and put it to it, and they get 4, 5, 6, 7, some $10,000 to put on a show once a month. For me right now, I don't think that would be beneficial for me. I think the best would be for me to keep trying to work my brand and build my brand. If I do promotions, it would be promoting basically myself, and then things like this, working with my close people. Because you notice I don't really do a lot of podcasts. I only work with my friends, like my people I interact with, because the reality is, in a world where everyone gets access to everybody, I don't think everyone deserves access to me. And, I wouldn't have been in the situation I'm in if I had that mindset this time last year, giving access to myself to someone that shouldn't have access to me. So my approach is a bit different now. In my mind, kayfabe not dead. As we live a world where people see, they do the whole day to get ready with me, and nah, you don't get all that. You just get to see the product and what I want to put out at the end. You don't get to see the work and the things that go on behind the scenes. That's for me and mine to see.
That's a beautiful concept. I believe in the same thing. And when we talk about the promotional thing, and I was already just telling Chad, what I'm saying, we can step in the ring. And I say, no, you talking about you can do this to me. Just give me 90 days to get back in shape. And
hey, you want a match?
We can raise the money, and I can stage it. We can put on we can put her in the amateur bracket. and therefore we don't have to go through too much licenses, and we can get it popping.
Come
I'm
on now.
professional because I'm fighting you.
Hey, I tell you it all the time.
We
I'm
can
taking on
raise
all
the
challenges.
money.
I fear God. I'm taking on all challenges. Let's get it.
All right, well, that's what I'm talking about.
90 days, 90 days, 90 days. Let's go.
Chad said he can set it a bit up, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm about to get back in shape and go off the top turnbuckle like Superfly.
Hey, sound good. If you want to get in the ring, I will 100% get in the ring with you.
It'll be a dream. We get some of these entertainer friends we got, let them put on a little show. Yeah, it can happen, man.
I be telling people all the time. I'll be like, what up? I know people, especially out in Orlando and Tampa. I know people we can get rings. I know people we can get decent venues and locations. And, we would just have to work on the marketing and filling out the card. But
Screaming.
it's definitely doable.
You heard it here first. Let's go.
Shout out to the real Chad. Take it away.
Hey, Omari, we just started this little segment a couple weeks ago. So it's called This or That. I'm going to give you 2 items, and you're going to pick one.
Okay.
All right? Reese's Pieces or M&M's?
Reese's Pieces.
Seafood or beef?
You said what?
Seafood or beef?
Beef.
Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
LeBron or Kobe?
Bron.
Cheese doodles or Cheetos?
You said cheese doodles or Cheetos?
Yeah.
Cheetos. Spicy kind.
Pool or ocean?
Oh.
Penthouse or mansion?
Penthouse, so I don't gotta worry about the upkeep and shit.
Public sub or Jersey Mike's?
I've never had Jersey Mike's, but as a New Yorker in Florida, Publix is overrated as fuck. Them subs is not that busting, bro. It's really not.
Interesting.
It's
Interesting. I'm a fan. I must say, I like Jersey Mike's, but I think Pub Subs I think it's the boar's head. The boar's head meat that's going down on their paws.
You like that boar's head meat? Okay.
Boar's head. That's that New York.
I see you.
That's that New York.
You
All right,
you
2
like that
more.
meat.
Dark or light liquor?
Light, tequila, Don Julio, Blanco, pour it up.
Okay. PS5 or Xbox Series X?
So I have been a lifelong Xbox guy, but I got both. I'm the first one to say I think PlayStation 5 got better games, and I think it got better like a better system. But I think the online and the multiplayer facet and the communication, Xbox parties and all that, I think that's better on the Xbox and with Microsoft.
Okay. I'm a PS5, but we have both. But like you said, I can't wait for the what's that, GTA 6?
That shit ain't coming out no time soon. GTA
2026.
so they say. GTA 5
Yeah.
came out when I was a senior in high school.
That's crazy.
Senior in high school came out if I'm not mistaken, it came out in 2012, and it's
Wow.
2025, and they still rocking that same shit.
How was life up at the Q's?
You with what aspect?
Whatever aspect you want to give the crowd.
All right, so here's a fun fact, a fun story. I got offered from UCF coming out of high school too. At the time, if I'm not mistaken, George O'Leary was the head coach at UCF, and he's a Long Island guy, so he knew my name, and my name was in the circuit, and he reached out to me, and they gave me an offer. I didn't know about UCF, so I looked it up, saw that I was in Orlando. And first off, I'm not really good with the heat, especially back then. I wasn't. Now I'm getting more acclimated to it, but back then I wasn't really good with the heat. And I sat there and I looked it up. I was like, hold up, I can't go to Orlando. UCF is one of the largest undergrad. It has one of the highest undergrads in the country. I think it's UCF and Penn State. I think is #1 with like 68,000 undergrad. I was like, yo, if I go to school out there and I'm walking to campus and I see a little joint sunbathing or out there laying, I ain't going to class, man. So I was like, I'm gonna go up to the cold. I'm gonna go to the snow, stay on my grind, yada
Where
yada.
you focus.
Yeah. Then I found out that Syracuse is one of the #1 party schools, private party schools in the country. So I tried to avoid the bullshit and went into more bullshit. But I had a great time. I think, the football wasn't the best because we wasn't always winning. I got bowl games, undefeated in bowl games. I'm 2-0 in bowl games. But my experience was interesting. I had my 5 years there, I had 5 offensive line coaches, 4 offensive coordinators, and 3 different head coaches. So I had a whole bunch of turnover, a whole bunch of learning new systems, getting acclimated to new things. But Syracuse was a blessing for me. I met a lot of great people, a lot of talented people, a lot of intelligent and unique people that are doing very successful things and very big things. Um, and Syracuse all over the world. I remember going when I had to go to the spectacle in India. I remember having a layover in Dubai, and there was a Syracuse alum in the airport at my layover in Dubai. Mm. It's
Mm.
all over the world, baby, all over the world.
So what happened?
That's what's up.
You
You
said
notice
what?
how he stopped, right? You notice how the story just ended right there, right?
With what?
What happened? I
The
mean,
airport. The airport.
I just said what up. We chopped it up, and then I went chilled and caught my flight and went to India. But it's just crazy to see an alum in an airport in
Across the
Dubai.
world. Right.
Yeah, random, so random. But I ain't mad at it. Just goes to show I feel like I made a good decision way back when.
what was the craziest party you went to in Syracuse?
And you can talk about or say.
Um, One time, me and a couple of my friends, my good boys on the team, we talked to people. We ended up collecting a few dollars from everybody on the team, like $5, $10 from as many people as possible. So like a quick, let's say we got 70 people giving $5, $10, damn near 500, $700. Then we found a house. We got a house. A couple of people let us rent out a house. Then we talked to a couple sororities, and we had a couple sororities come by, whole bunch of drinks and party favors, and we had a good time. We had a good time. I had my fun. I got out there a little bit early because I know when it starts, hit a, they say the freaks come out at night. So, it started hitting that certain time. Big O had to get the fuck up out of there. So I left a little early, but it was a good time. If any of the boys see this and, want to drop a comment about what happened that night, I would love to hear some of the stories because I heard some wild things going on. So that's my cue.
Shout out to the real in football. So you went to Syracuse. You played ball. What position you played?
O-line, everything besides center.
Everything besides center. So what happened? What happened? Did you not want to play anymore? What happened?
I broke my leg. I got to my 5th year. Third game in the third quarter, I got rolled up, broke my right ankle. So boom, my season was over. And then I tried to get the medical red shirt. I missed the medical red shirt by like 3 or 4 plays. It was, the first. So the rule was 3-3. If you played more than uh three, it was like in the third game, if you played in the second half of the third game, it doesn't count as early enough to get a medical red shirt. So I missed it by one drive. And I'm one of those people, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I was not meant to be playing football. It is what it is, bro. Like I had my time, I had my fun, I did my thing, preseason all conference, got the scholarship, played against the best. I watched the NFL. It's littered. You name players, I played against them. I lined up against them, or played against their team. So, I did my thing. I feel happy with what I did and what I accomplished. I'm not even living in the mindset of shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm just gonna
Yeah, I
keep.
wanted to know when it first happened. I like would and then to get back on the right track and figure that whole thing out. How was that process like?
So it was awful. There's no other way to say it. The first thing, and that's why I'm kind of used to what happened to me now. But the first things first was you never realize how many people, just stop fucking with you. If you get about the streets, is they gonna still love you, man? You know what I'm saying? Once I got off the field, people was talking about me going pro or potentially going pro. Once I broke my ankle, it was women stop talking to me, friends stop talking to me. I can't even call them friends. A lot of people start looking at you differently when you're not as as successful as you was. And
Right.
fast forward, shit, almost exactly 10 years later, I go through a similar thing again with what I went through. So that was just eye-opening for me. But I take everything the same way. I'm gonna get right, get healthy. I'm gonna give it a year, see what happens in the year. If I don't get moving in the right direction in that year, I'll just move on to something else. Like I said, I spent all my life being an athlete and focusing so much on my body and using my body to be my money maker. I start realizing I got other skills. I'm not dumb. I'm not, I got a good support system with my family and friends. I got good people around me like Chad. I got a lot of people and a lot of skills that I just haven't been cultivating because I've just been so focused on specific things. In this instance, it was football, and now for me, it was wrestling as I slowly kind of transition and expand my horizons a bit.
And you know what I'd say? So, being that you went through this adversity and went through these challenges, and being a star athlete and raising to the top of your game, you did it time and time again. You did it with football, you did it in wrestling. So that's what you're saying. That's the proof right there that you can probably do anything you damn well please. And you know what I'm saying? It's all a bit, and that's what it's all about. So for people that turn their back on you when you're going through those type of things, man, you just got to hold on to those moments and don't let that shit get you down because you're going to get right back up. You can't keep that. I always go, if you can't keep that, you're a star. You can't stop us. You can't stop
Yeah,
a star.
can't
The only
hide
person
it.
that
You
can
can't
stop a
hide it.
star is if the star quit on itself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So,
And I'm gonna say that as humbly as I can because and you're gonna hear me say it a lot. It's all God given. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I did nothing crazy. I wasn't the hardest working person in every room. I wasn't the best looking person in every room. I wasn't the smartest, the biggest, the strongest, the fastest. But God took care of me and put me in the places I need to be and move me in the directions I need to be. So I always give praise up top. And I'm gonna keep it pushing. The saying the cream rise to the top. So I got to the top of my, mountain before I fell off, hopped on another mountain, got to the top of that, fell off, and we'll see what's next and we'll see where I'm supposed to be going to.
and that's a beautiful thing, and that's what highly dysfunctional is all about. We take negative deposits. It's about overcoming odds. I come from a highly dysfunctional background. I had a highly dysfunctional life, and that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Picking yourself up off the ground. And
Facts.
that's the message I try to keep preaching, even though sometimes I forget. So let's get back to the wrestling game. So, is any of the guys that you teamed up with in WWE are you still cool with?
A lot of them. Uh, like I always say, people think I got hate for the company and the people in it. I got no hate. Legal team made their decision and the corporate side took over. I think if I was there at a different time or if this happened a little bit earlier before the acquisition, that things would have been a lot different. But I still stay in touch with a lot of people. I still talk to them. I mean, I saw Kofi and Austin. Xavier. I saw both of them at Mania. All love, chopped it up with them. Still talk to a lot of the boys. I still hang out with a lot of the boys. So we'll see. It's always interesting because I realize, the world don't really know me. They know Odyssey and they know what they see, but they don't hang with me. They ain't kicking with me. Chad told me, I know Chad, you remember last time we was out in Tampa and all the stuff that happened. We was out that night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Crazy
Yes,
night
sir. Yes, sir.
With Shorty over there being crazy.
Yes,
And
sir. Yes,
you know how I handled it. I,
absolutely.
I got the police, get this young
Yep.
lady home and get her away from us.
Yes,
So
I do.
when you around me as a person, you know me, but I always forget the world and the IWC don't know me. They know the Odyssey Jones, who in my eyes is equivalent to Bugs Bunny. It's just a made up character. It ain't real. It's just a concept.
Shout out to the real. And let me ask you, when you talk about wrestling and you went through that, do you still talk to this lady?
To Shorty?
Mhm.
No, ain't nothing to talk about.
I mean, you dropped a lawsuit against her, right?
Yeah. So we gonna do, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. We're gonna go do the defamation. I got a whole bunch of stuff that the world don't know about. And again, they'll see it all in deposition. I got, after the cruise ship, I got videos of her coming to my house trying to attack me. I got her attacking my neighbors. I got death threats, suicide threats. I got threats of ruining my life. I got all that. So I'm gonna take it all to the courts and let the courts decide. And then from there, I'll move on and keep it pushing. Once that's done, it's done. I'm not living in the past. I'm looking to the future.
And you know what's crazy? And on social media, the women been wilding all over.
Women. Women always been wilding. Like, it's nothing new. From the first women we talk about, Adam and Eve, ain't nothing new. It's the same shit, different day. I mean, I think that Me Too movement is starting to lose its steam as we sit here and we watch. There's so much stuff going on. Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, more information coming out with that. Then there's this other brother, DDG, and his girl
that
being. So it's just women being women. We have this mindset in our society that they're perfect and they sweet and they delicate little flowers. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody perfect. There's only one person who's perfect in this world ever, and it was not them. So it's we'll just see. We'll just be seeing the reality. And like I said, a lot of people ask and stuff like that. And my close friends have seen and heard and understand because they was around me and her. But it will all come out when the deposition comes out, and the world will know the truth of what I was dealing with, and what I was being patient with, and what I shouldn't have been dealing with for real, for real.
So you was with this woman for a long time?
No, on and off. When I say on and off, she wasn't my girlfriend. She was
Side piece?
not even a one in the starting five. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, she wasn't even
Yeah, she
starting
wasn't even a
five.
shorty. She
She
was
was doing
just
too much.
yeah, she was just there. She was just there. And then when, I put my foot down and said, I don't like this, and I said, I'm going my separate ways, that's when all of a sudden I became a problem. And all of a sudden I'm this, that, and the third. You know how it is. You deal with enough women, and certain women, I'll say that, because I'm not going to generalize and say it's every woman, but you deal with certain women and you gonna get burned. And I dealt with a woman I shouldn't have been dealing with. We wasn't equally yoked. We wasn't on the same level. Not saying I'm, worse or better than her, but we weren't on the same level. We shouldn't have been interacting, and I learned the hard way, unfortunately. Publicly learned the hard way. Most people get to go through this privately, but it is what it is. Most people don't lose their job off of stuff like this, but it is what it is. And I'm just gonna keep my head up and keep it pushing.
And being that doing a show, I gotta say this. So charges was not pressed, correct?
There's no charges, never arrested. She tried to report me to the police, and it sounded ridiculous because it was like, yeah, what she said was uh the gist of it was I think she said I threw her to the ground or something, or I beat her up, and then the next day she went on a cruise with me. Bro, I'm 6'4", 375 pounds. If I was putting hands on people, you'd be in the hospital. I ain't see no hospital reports. I ain't see no picture of no bruises, nothing. I ain't see nothing. So we'll
And
see
there's
what
nothing.
happens.
There's no. We
Nothing.
just want the people to know there's no visible
Nothing.
evidence.
Almost a year later, and I'm sitting there talking to these reporters hitting me up and saying this and that and the third. I'm like, where the picture? Show me something.
Something.
And even at that, and the sad part is, and I feel bad because a lot of women go through abuse. I have women in my family, cousins that have gone through things like that. The saddest part is, you know, women be doing, and not just women, people be doing such wild stuff. You see a picture, you can't even really believe it sometimes because it don't take much for you to
Yeah.
run yourself into a wall and say so and so did it and this, that, and the third. So,
And we've seen that people have been captured
yep.
doing wild stuff like that. With
So,
women crying hysterically, you couldn't believe she was trying to have her husband whacked.
You know how it is. So, like I said, I'm gonna just go to court. I'm gonna present it to the court. Let the court decide. Let the judge decide. I don't know if she's gonna show up or not. She didn't show up for the order of protection to counter it. I mean, I don't know if y'all ever got one on somebody. It's not that easy, especially as a man on a woman. So I got that, and we'll go to court. I think my court date's a little further out than I would like it, but I'll go to court, and then after that, I'll do what I got to do after that. And
And,
like I said, keep it
let me
pushing.
ask you something. So there have been a few people that have been through some allegations. Um, and athletes that has been and that didn't go nowhere. I think that in the sports arena that have lost their job. You got Michael Irvin at ESPN, Shannon Sharp, but he's supposed to be still employed. Um, there's just a few people that have done certain things. You, in your case, when you went to the WWE, you told them this, and you told them that this never happened. Did they do any type of investigation?
I don't know, bro. I honestly don't know. I personally don't think so, but I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I did the debut, and then debuted Monday, flying high, feeling good. It went well, getting home and hearing about 8 million views overnight. And then the next day they called and said, hey, this woman's saying this. I laughed on the phone. I was like, y'all serious? I was like, that's not true. That's not what happened. I was like, this don't sound weird to you? I've been with y'all for 6 years. I've been in the company I've been with the main roster for 15 months. I think at that time, I think it was close to 18 months. And then I debut, and all of a sudden you get a call. You don't think that's awkward? And y'all know that I had problems with this woman in the past. And this is why I take accountability. I shouldn't have been messing with her. We weren't on the same level. She shouldn't have been around me. But, she came back into my life under the guise of being better. And I
Mm.
gave it a chance because I know life is hard and people grow and people change. Because I know I've grown and I've changed, even from when that happened in August till now. I've changed. I've changed multiple times. I went from the roller coaster to the high to hitting ground zero to building myself up through Christ and just being better and growing as a man and as a human being. So, we'll see what happens. I mean. Like I said, I got no hate to the WWE. I take full accountability for everything good, bad, and indifferent that happened in my life. Um, I'll go through what I got to go through. I'll take it, I'll take it how I got to take it. And when the situation comes, or if something, if I get tested again or something comes similar, I know how to handle it. I know how to operate better. I know to just turn and walk away. I know to not play and go back and forth. I know, to just be better if this comes up again.
And she never went on any podcasts telling her side or
Nope.
whatever the case may
Nope.
be.
All she did was
Just
talk to one reporter. And I was
that was
like,
it.
yeah, some Brandon Thurston. And then I looked him up and I was like, bro, everything you posted had 100 views. And then the one thing that has to do with this got 1 million. Come on.
Mm.
Mm,
And now so it is what it is. Like I
mm.
said, I don't know what she got going on. At this point, I don't really care. I'm not wishing no ill will towards her. Again, I know her and her family and her dynamic and her situation. I know what she went through growing up, and I know the hardship that she has even to this day. Well, not to this day, but I know
She was
hardships that
damaged.
she
She
had.
has a damaged story.
Damage, damage. And I don't, again, I live, and that might be part of the jealousy. Again, I thank God. I wasn't damaged. I got both my parents, my father and my mother, still alive to this day, still married. I grew up with my older sister on Long Island. Long Island's, don't get it twisted. It's got some bad to it, but Long Island was a great place to grow up for me. So
Part of
I was
Long
taken
Island.
care of. Quorum. I was from Quorum out in Suffolk County.
Shout out to the real.
So,
We just getting ready to
yes,
get.
sir.
So is the WWE named in this lawsuit?
Named in the lawsuit?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. The
Because I would
lawsuit.
want my fucking job back.
I mean, at this point, it's not even about getting my job back. It's about getting my reputation back. At this point, it's about clearing my name because, I'm walking around with a stigma. People really think I was arrested. People think I had charges. People think I was doing something ridiculous because I had a bad, basically a bad separation with the woman that she grossly exaggerated what was going on, just trying to hurt me. And, she did. That's fine.
That
We'll
happens.
go through what we got to go through. And I don't want to talk too much about it because, again, it's the
Still
legalities.
going on.
Yeah. But there's going to be a storm coming. There's going to be a lot coming, even though I don't want to do this and I don't want it to happen. But at this point, my hands
What's
is
your hand?
forced. So,
My
That's
name is my name.
That's what they do. They force your hand. They force your hand.
Yeah.
And they don't understand the man that we ain't even trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But you gonna make me do all that. And that's what they'll do. They'll hurt themselves to hurt you. Even if you test. So what it sounds like, you got a bunch of evidence on this lady. And that's what they'll do. They don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Just emotional beings. They don't care. She knew that. She knew that all this stuff was gonna come to light. And we talk about all the things that men and women been going through. And what do you think the man and woman dynamic is at now? What's your trust with women now?
I everybody's different. I'm not gonna sit here and walk around with a wall up, and I'm not gonna sit here and scream. You know how people be when they get hurt. Fuck bitches get money.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah, like that.
I'm
That's
not
what
gonna
they
sit here and act like as a grown man I don't like women. I
do.
don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But my mindset now is even on that. My mindset is on rebuilding and building up what I had, and finding out not myself, because going through this I kind of saw myself. I saw the toughness I got and the things I can handle and what I can't handle. But to really, just like I said before, build back, build up my empire. I've learned, I've grown. I know what to do now with a lot of things, from the money to the interaction with people to, even I've learned a lot. So
No, I dig what you're saying, and I commend you for that. You picked up the pieces, and you like, I got to keep going. I got
you
to
know
keep.
how it is.
That's man's law. We got to keep going no matter what happens. Yeah, what you gotta do? Y'all hang with the kids on Father's Day or the week of Father's Day?
Oh, that's this
June
weekend.
15th. June 15th.
How does
Yeah.
that work? Because the girls be trying to take over Father's Day. They trying to tell you what to do on Father's Day.
I was talking
Well,
to this
you
shorty yesterday, and she a single mom, and she's like, "I'm a dad." I'm like, "You're not a dad. You're just a mom raising a kid. Don't call yourself a dad. Just how a single dad ain't gonna call himself a mom. What are we talking about?"
Women are totally ridiculous. They want to be everything but women.
well, I'll play devil's advocate and I see where they're coming from as far as a standpoint as where they're playing the father's role as well.
But they're
Meaning
not a
they're
father,
correct.
and
Right.
I
But they don't they
understand
don't
that.
see they don't see it that way. Right.
I fully get it. And again,
Right.
I don't want to
But
speak
just
too
be a
much
mother.
on it.
Just take the credit as the mother,
Be the mother. The
not the
mother's
mother and
better.
the father.
The mother
Right.
better. You birthed them. You did the most important part.
It happens. So
You know?
let's get back to the wrestling game. Who will be your dream match?
All time or right now?
Give me both.
So all time, one of my favorite wrestlers all time, Rey Mysterio. I think it would be so awesome. I know, he an OG now, and not saying he's gonna retire anytime soon, but we definitely know he's, towards the back end of it right now. I would love to go toe to toe with Ray. Ray is awesome, great brother, great talent. That'll be fun to go back and forth with him. Right now, working now would be. It's hard to pick
Yeah, let's
one.
do this.
It's
Let's do this. Let's do top three all time, top three current. Because
okay.
one is hard. One is hard.
One is tough. So top three all time would be one Rey Mysterio, two Mark Henry. Just because even though we're very similar, I think we're very different in our own rights, and I think we could do some fun and unique things that people wouldn't have seen before. And three would be hmm, three is tough. Three
You
is
know, big or small.
Three are tough. I mean, I already got one big, one small. Whew, maybe, and this might be a cop out just because of who it is, but maybe Taker. I think it would be fun to play with
Ooh,
that
Taker.
character dynamic of going up to the dead man. A lot of people, you get in the ring with him and you really get scared. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people really kind of, especially when he's in character and fully going. A lot of people get scared. I think that would be fun to see because at the end of the day, I think I'm still going to be me. So if I was in the ring with him, I think I'd still smile and laugh and really try to step up to the challenge. Three people currently. most of them is all, my people, my friends, people I learned and grew in the business with and made good friendships with. One person is AJ Francis. He's I think he's one of the best minds in wrestling today, in my opinion. Everyone got their own decision and own choice, but AJ's a top. He's like that, and I've learned from him, and I had a chance to have a match with him. I'd love to work with him more. Uh, Another big guy that I would love to battle with, Jack Talos. My boy, he's out in All Japan right now, so that would be a good one to go with him and back and forth with him. And another one would be phew, I mean, all these people, I'm naming a whole bunch of people I already had matches with, but I'd love to have like feuds and back and forth with them. You know what I mean? Like tell stories over time. And the third would be probably Zion Quinn. He's out in All Japan as well, actually, right now. I think it'd be fun to go back and forth with him just because he's got a great character. His character would be fun to see how we interact character wise. I think, you know, each match would be, even though I'm still the same, each one would be a bit different. I think AJ and I would tell the best story of the three. I think Jack Talos and I, Big Man Zach, would be the best back and forth battling of the three of us really going at it. And I think Zion will be one of the more entertaining of the three in terms of character and doing interesting and fun things. Yeah.
Shout out to the real. The wrestling business as a whole, you think it's going to continue to grow and get better? There's a lot of different leads right now. You can really, go pretty much in different. I don't know how the business of it works, but it seems like a lot of leads because you can go,
There is.
you can go
I
do
can go
things and
really
still
anywhere.
and your image and what you do, like you can bring the people with you. You know what I'm saying? And that type of thing.
Hmm. I
So
think it will grow. I think wrestling's the hottest it's ever been. I think especially as we go into this world of being interconnected, I think we also have the dynamic of relatability, which kind of makes it interesting that you might see a person a lot, but not really relate to them or cling to them as a person. And I think that would be fun to see because I think there's a lot of people that if you put them in situations that you just see them and you just can't help but to, enjoy them. You can't help but to cheer or boo, but you can't help but to react to them.
Engage, right?
Yeah, and get up, engage. You can't help but to do that with a lot of people, with some people, and I think in this world that fusion of um how widespread it is and how much access we have to having people see you more, and with that in conjunction with the relatability and certain people's charm, so to speak, I think it will be nothing but up. I mean, the reality is there's still countries out there that still, you know, developing. I mean, we in America, I'm not gonna sit here and scream America is the best in the world, but we in a country where you got Wi-Fi everywhere. There's countries where you don't got Wi-Fi everywhere. I know in India, when I went there, I think what India has like 1 billion people,
does it
and what
really
I was
stink?
told was that what was that?
Does it really stink?
Does it what?
Think.
You said does
Does it
India
really
stink?
stink? I be seeing it online. I never been there, but they be like Indian stink. I'm like, does it stink out there?
So
Like the whole.
I will say this. There was some things that was nasty to me because it's kind of against what I was used to growing up and our society as an American. I'm not gonna say it stink, but I wasn't really allowed to be around everywhere because when we did it, we was kind of in and out. We landed the day of the show early, their time. We had a few hours to relax. We did the show, and then we had a few hours to pack up and get out of there. I didn't really leave the hotel. I didn't get to really walk around.
You
The
get no
hotel I was
Indian
at was
goose.
beautiful. The people was nice and kind. So yeah, I got no bad words to it. I'd love to go back. I know my boy Rinku out there in Surab. I'd love to go out there and see them and have them show me kind of more of the country. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
As a whole, man, wrestling. You said you went to India. And interacting with the fans. How is all that? How's that feeling, man? Walking out, seeing people. loving you, loving your character, loving something that you created, man.
Um,
Because that you're a performer, man. I know performers live for that moment, man. How does that make you feel? What do you feel when you walk and see the crowd of people loving you, ask for your autograph,
I mean,
mimicking you?
I love it because someone told me, Santos Escobar told me one day, we are in we're in the business of happiness. And I don't always realize my effect on people. And I need to realize and be more understanding of that and be more cognizant of how I am and how I influence people around me and people in general. But I love the concept of for the time that you see me, the time you come to a show and see me in ring, for that time you escape the world. All your troubles, that excuse me, that bill you got, that woman harassing you, that pain you got, that fear, that anxiety for whatever time that you're sitting there in the world of wrestling, if it's watching, one of the pay-per-views or at a show or just watching a match, you just escape that. Just like anything else, just like every other form of entertainment. You listen to your song, your favorite song, for that 2, 3, 4 minutes of songs playing, you're not thinking about nothing else but that song. You escaping your problems. You go to the movie theaters, you watch that movie for an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, you engulfed in that movie, you in that world, you watch your TV show, your series, or whatever. While you watch that series, you escape in your world. And I know this world's got a lot of beauty to it, but it's got a lot of bad to it. And I think a lot of people do kind of need that escape and that moment, just to be happy, man. Just to be happy.
What are you most proud about today, man? After all the things you've been through, all the things you've seen, all the highs and lows, what are you most proud about today?
Uh, I'm most proud about being baptized and coming closer to Christ and realizing that a lot of this stuff is a distraction. A lot of this world that we live in is to get us to move a certain way. I'm proud of one, my confidence that I'm growing within myself and in God and in the world. I always say, I've been saying it a lot lately. For the first time, I'm 31 years old, my first time in my life, I feel like I'm being led by faith and not fear. When I was playing football, I was scared to, you know, get hurt, to mess up, miss a block, get somebody else hurt, to have a mistake. When I was in ring, I was scared to look dumb, to again mess up, to not hit my time, hurt somebody. I'm not even operating in that kind of negative state of fear. I'm operating in just faith that things is going to be good. And if things aren't good, or if things aren't to the level of good that you want, things are going to propel me as a man and as a human to where I need to be, and push me in the right direction and push, my journey, so to speak, not to sound cheesy, but my journey where it needs to be.
I say it all the time. Life is a journey. And I've
Yeah,
walked.
yeah, it is.
So I say that, you know what I'm saying? I be wanting people to change when I change, and they still want to hold on to certain characters. And I'm like, that ain't me no more. They don't want to let it go. So then we got to let go of each other. Shout out to the real.
Facts.
We got about 6 more months in this year. What needs to happen for this year to be a success?
Uh, One, to keep growing. I think staying stagnant is that's the worst thing that any of us could do. Even if it's just small increments, daily, weekly, monthly, just keep growing to where I need to grow to be the person I need to be, that I'm meant to be. That's one. I would love to be able to I'd love to be able to get out of the country. I would love to go to Japan, to work in Japan, do shows in Japan. I would love to go to Europe to do shows in Europe. I would love to go to Canada, South America, Africa, Asia. I would love to go, basically just see what I can do on a worldly scale and to see who I could impact positively on a worldly scale. And I'll give you a third one. I would love to keep working my craft and keep growing my brand and my confidence in myself. I got a couple things in the works that I really wanted to do, for the first time. Wrestling is a priority, and it is, big for me, but for the first time, I'm starting to explore other things in my life that I wanted to do, that I've always wanted to do. You know, all over the place, from looking at things, dreams that I had prior to being in wrestling, and then dreams and things I learned while being in wrestling and after wrestling. So I would love to just keep expanding, myself, my horizons, my brand, and see kind of where that leads me.
All right, all right. Shout out to the real. Shout out to the real. Because I've been thinking about with everything, OnlyFans, and everything. I was thinking about getting into porn. And that's been
Hey,
my dream.
fun fact: when I first got released, that's some of the first people that hit me up was OnlyFans models, and I was thinking about it. Was I had about 3 or 4 of them within the first month. So like in September, they were like, "Yeah, I could fly you up. We could do content. I'll give you, a few thousand, but I'll keep all the money from the." And I was like,
They trying to pimp you out.
"Base, hey, I was about to Odyssey. I become Odyssey for real, for real, for real, for real." And I'm happy I made the right decision. I feel I made the right decision. Who knows what path would have been. I called for brothers to say that, right? But like, who knows what path I would have been down? But I like where I'm at, and I like where I feel. I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. So we'll see. But that was an interesting time with that kind of stuff.
All right, we run out of time. I know you got things to do. I'm just gonna fire off current events and say what you say or say what you don't say.
See.
P. Diddy.
The freak offs is crazy. I think first off, I personally been hearing about Pete Diddy doing craziness since I was a kid. So we've been hearing about this for decades,
Decades.
decades. So that's nothing new. But my question is, what about all the other people? Pete Diddy wasn't in there freaking off by himself now. There was a whole bunch of people involved. So I wouldn't say curious because I don't really care that much, but I think there's more to the story than what we're being told and what we're being sold. So, and I think there's other things going on as well that they want the focus to be on Pete Diddy and him.
We're not privy to yet, just yet.
Yeah, I think so, but who knows?
Shout out to the real Vince McMahon.
Um, I mean, let's be honest, wrestling wouldn't be what it is right now without Vince McMahon. So, yeah, I'd love to see what happens. I hear he's starting his own entertainment company. I would love to see what he does next because Vince McMahon, when it comes to being a visionary, I don't think, especially being a wrestler, I don't think you can say that word without saying Vince McMahon with it. So I'd love to see what happens and what he does. I would love to have the opportunity to work with him because let's be honest, Vince McMahon, some of the biggest stars of the company, not let me bring the biggest stars in the
Mm,
company and in the wrestling community right
mm.
now is
Birth from
because of
him.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So, if that opportunity comes just to even pick his mind, not even ask questions, just to hear him talk and see kind of how he operates and puts things together, that would be a dope moment for me.
And I mean, to be honest, I mean, if he can return, then why can't you?
Because I'm not an old white millionaire. That's why
Mhm.
when you on different levels, things is different. But we'll see what happens. Who knows what the future holds, man? I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm done for, but things is gonna be interesting now.
Nikki Bella. Cardi B, Offset, Stephon Diggs.
I mean,
That's the Latino shit.
yeah, I don't I don't know what's going on with all that. I think it's weird to divorce your husband for cheating and then get with a guy who's got a kid coming now who's got a rotation. I don't, but again, I don't know all the details, so I'm not gonna sit here and speak on it like I do. But celebrities doing celebrity things, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
And that's why I be telling people stop jumping. Celebrities got a lot of money and a lot of time, and with all that money and power, you choose you lose a sense of reality.
Yup, they
Hulk
operate
Hogan.
differently.
Hulk Hogan.
They operate real differently. Hulkamaniac. I mean, uh, not much to say there either. Hulk Hogan's Hulk Hogan. You know, I've been hearing stories about him for years. I see the fans, hate him right now, I guess. But at the end of the day, the reality is wrestling wouldn't be what wrestling is without Hulk Hogan.
Can't take it away.
Guys like Vince McMahon and Macho Man, you try to say separate the art, but sometimes they overlap a little bit too much. So,
shout out to the real.
I love talking to y'all. This was good. I had a great time. I showed up a little late again. I apologize for that, but I had a great time.
Thanks.
But yeah. So yeah, you're right. God was working in our favor. Shout out to the real. It's your boy Odyssey with 2 D's, no Jones, aka the Mole on the Mission, aka the Triple C Quorum City Crusher, aka Big O, in this joint with Highly Dysfunctional and my boy Chad. And I had a great time. Stay blessed, y'all.
Peace. Shout out to the real. Shout out to the fake. Shout out to that nosy chick. You better stay in your place. Get in line. Park. Odyssey Jones. Chad the Saga. We will see you again. When, Chad?
Yes, sir.
Tuesday, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., next Thursday, 8 p.m. We got 3 shows coming up this week. We're busy. We are busy.
Let's go. Thank you, my brother.
Peace.